on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout Law. To help other people at all times to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. You know, that's an expression that many of us have used for quite some time. And I decided, when it was determined who I'm going to interview today, to do a little research. And in that research, I came across this creed, this oath. And it dawned on me that if, in fact, we would use that, if we as a people would adopt that, if the country would adopt that, if business people would adopt that, if the elected officials would adopt that, if the teachers would adopt that, the students, more people would adopt it other than the Boy Scouts, then this would be a much better world. So what I'm asking you to do, we're going to project that on the screen. If, in fact, I already know it by heart, which I should, because about 50 years, more than 50, don't you say nothing, Gary?
No, I will not.
Because you got the certificate of when I joined the Boy Scout.
Troop 195.
But it's something, it's a creed that we can really live by and will make a measurable and a phenomenal difference in our country, in our community, in our families, and in our world. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham, and I'm really humble and excited to be able to interview Mr. Garrett Williams, who is the executive director, he'll get the title right if it's wrong, of the Central Georgia Council of the Boy Scouts of America. And it was not until recently, frankly, when my wife joined the board, and I've always been conscientious, but I became more conscientious and I began to reflect on what that organization has meant to the country and to this community for years. So I'm just happy. And I'm doing my talking now because he's going to do all the talking later. That we are able to have him here and to let him espouse, if you please, what the Boy Scouts are doing, what we can do to help, what their projections are, what their goals are, what their events are, what their activities are, and all other relevant information as it relates to this phenomenal organization. But first,
yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, as you mentioned, I'm the executive director for the Boy Scouts of America, and I've been in the Macon, Middle Georgia community now for right at about 9 years.
Wow.
And it's truly been a pleasure for me and my family to be a part of the fabric of this community. This community has been extremely generous and extremely good to us, and we're truly grateful to be here. My role with the Boy Scouts of America allows me to come in contact with, I think, some of the best people in our Middle Georgia community. They're conscientious about what we need to do to impact the lives of families and youth in a positive manner. And that's why we're here. You mentioned the Scout Oath. At the end of the day, we're just asking people to look at that Scout Oath and figure out how you could end up being the best person that you can possibly be.
Right.
Doing no harm to others, being a responsible citizen, understanding how to be a self-reliant, and doing your part in this great community to, in a lot of ways, carry your own weight a little bit.
Right.
But in terms being selfless and understanding how to help others.
Right. Well, that's such a phenomenal thing. And man, I shudder to think about what it would mean to this community. And people talk about crime and talk about all the lack of proper education. They talk a little about behavior. But talk a little bit how being a Boy Scout and being prepared can affect, the actions and the behavior of both boys and girls now.
Well, being in our program, the thing that we're always trying to get across to youth is to think about what you're doing. before you do it. You know, there's ethics and action piece. You know, there's got to be and has to be some moral compass in you at all times when you're interacting with people in this community. First, you have to be responsible, you know, to yourself and making sure that you're treating yourself in the manner that you need to be treated.
Right.
And if you're good to yourself, majority of the times you're going to be good to others. And so we look at the creeds and we look at the precepts that we have within our program. And that's the thing that we want to get across to our young people, is to understand how you need to treat others and to think about what you're about to do before you do it. And so a lot of what we have in our programs allow our young people to do that. Then there's being prepared. I think that speaks for itself. You know, 2 strong words. You know, whatever you're about to get involved with, make sure you're prepared. Putting your best self forward at all times, and when you put your best self forward, ultimately people are going to react to it, and it's going to help somebody else when they see you do that same thing. So a good bit of our program is to ensure that those precepts, those things that we teach to the program, those soft skills that we teach to the program, will not only impact young people right now while they're in elementary school, middle school, or teenagers, but they will remember some of those things of duty to God, duty to country, and duty to others, and duty to self.
Yes, sir.
And that they will carry that on into adulthood.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's phenomenal. So, having heard you say that, then the thing that comes to my mind is that, well, we need every person, every young person possible, everybody throughout the community, you know, because what it does, it supplements training, and it supplements education, and it supplements recreation, and all of the kinds of things that the community is trying to do, you know, to make sure that they are responsible and physically active and morally and mentally strong and all of those other things that are contained in the creed. So it just seems to me, and I hope there's an initiative, that there should be a forceful expansion and recruitment process, and there should be a forceful buy-in, if you please, from entities like churches and organizations and families.
More important,
you know, families, you know, to have our young people involved in this process. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. The program itself is simple at its core. You know, you mentioned the word family, and that's ultimately what we're trying to help build in our community, stronger families where they can meet at a local church, they can meet at a local community organization, and take part in a variety of resource of activities that every member of that family can get something out of. You mentioned initiatives. You know, our initiative that we call Scout Reach is designed to impact youth and families where they are. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work in an operation and to serve a board that has a motto itself in saying that economics, money, is not going to be the reason why a family cannot enjoy the full benefit of this program. And that's truly important. Because we know all programs.
So don't make an excuse.
Yeah, don't make an excuse about money.
Don't say I can't get little Billy in the program.
Don't make
because I can't afford it.
Don't make an excuse about money.
Okay.
We'll figure if you want to get your child to the program and you want to be a part of this program, let us work with you to figure that piece out. But if you have that desire, we want you to be a part of it. We have resources that churches can use, and we're not here to take away or replace anything that organizations are doing. We're saying that we can be a resource and an enhancement, a supplement, and then what comes along with that are staff members that have some level of experience that can support what your goals and missions are as an organization, other volunteers. That is the
now you're talking about establishing scouting programs.
I'm talking
throughout the community.
I'm talking about establishing scouting programs throughout the community. Our ultimate goal is to have scouting on every corner of this community to decrease the distance of where a child has to go to get this program. no matter the zip code, no matter the demographic, no matter the economics, we have resources that every portion of this community can use.
Well, let me say something to those churchgoers out there.
Mhm.
If a scouting program is not at your church, then you need to make yourself a committee of one to see what it would take to get it started. Because you're talking about spiritual outreach. Because even in that creed,
That's right.
it says to God and country. And if I hear you right, and correct me if I don't. So you're saying that you're embarking upon a mission where you can establish scout troops.
Mm-hmm.
Almost on every corner. Man, can you imagine, Trace, the kind of impact that would have in our community? For boys to be able to go through that program. Now, I know that it takes a process, and we're going to talk about what it takes in a minute. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Havisham, interviewing Mr. Garrett Williams of the Central Georgia Boy Scout Council. We'll be right back. We're back. I'm Alex Havisham, your host, again, interviewing Mr. Garrett Williams, who's the executive director of the Boy Scout Council. And it's my understanding that it covers, we want to talk about two other things.
Yes, sir.
One of which is the area that the Central Georgia Council covers. And then you could talk about that first, because after which I want to spend some time on the necessary steps that it takes to get a program initiated, and the kind of resources that you all can provide to, say, a neighborhood group, or a community organization, or a church,
Right.
a mentoring organization. What kind of resources that the council can provide to get it established in the hood.
That's right.
And throughout the community.
And throughout the
But
community.
we need it in the hood too.
We need it.
I mean,
everywhere.
it'll be a significant positive impact, I think.
Mm-hmm. So if you look at our footprint of the Central Georgia Council, we have a pretty significant size footprint. We cover 24 counties here in Middle Georgia. Macon is the headquarters for the Central Georgia Council. So if you think about our farthest eastern corners, northeastern corner of our council, that would be Putnam County. If you think about our furthest southeastern corner, that would go all the way down to Washington County.
Okay, Sandersville, Georgia.
Sandersville, Georgia, spreading all the way out to Taylor County, Reynolds and Butler, and then furthest tip south will be down towards Telfair County, and furthest northern tip would be Monroe County.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because
Yeah.
those people in those communities who are listening need to know that that's part of your outreach,
Right.
and that you would want to establish projects in those communities.
Establish
also.
projects at those communities, and it's as important what we do here in a more urban footprint like Macon is what we do in a more rural footprint, let's tell Telfair County or Taylor County. So we're here to ensure that this program is made available to every county that we serve, and that the resources are there to impact the lives of those families and young people that we
Okay,
try to get
I hear a retired person
with. Right.
talking in my ear.
Uh-huh.
I hear a conscientious person talking in my ear. And then they really talking to me, but they ought to be talking to you. And then what they're saying, hey, Garrett, walk me through the steps of getting a council established in my church, or in my organization, or in my community.
Well, it's really quite simple. Number one, you have to decide that this is what you want. That's the first thing. Once you decide that, we're there to help you go through that process and walk you through it. Once you do that, we want to work with you on identifying leadership. because that's the most important thing out of that, because we need mentors to work with young people.
Absolutely.
That's where that's where the rubber meets the road. Once we know that we've got that, and we have a facility where youth can meet and families can meet, then we come in and provide the training. We show you how to do your specific role in the program from A to Z, and we'll take those baby steps with you and show you how to do it. And the beautiful thing about scouting, we have a program that could possibly fit your needs.
Yes.
We realize that we're going to have those that just absolutely love the outdoor aspect of our program. They want to go camping. They want to be part of the curriculum of what they teach. But we also have other aspects of this program that involve career awareness, a program that's called Exploring, that teaches young people future career or career options that they may have, whether that be in the medical field, whether that be in engineering, STEM-related fields. So we can touch families and youth in a variety of ways outside of our own traditional core programs. So we have a variety of options that churches and other community organizations can use that can truly make an impact. And then other collateral opportunities that we have facilities that we would love this community to come out and explore. 20 minutes down the road in Byron, Georgia, we have Camp Benjamin Hawkins, a 500-acre facility.
Wow.
With a lake, canoes. We have a leadership development center, the Peyton Anderson Leadership Development Center, that has a climbing tower and other low rope
down at the camp.
Down at the camp to teach self-confidence, trust, team building. All of those things are right there, 20 minutes from Macon, right in our backyard, that's available to utilize. And we would love to have our churches to come and explore who we are. Whether that is you want to do a program of your own out there.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Mm-hmm. Look, we're open Monday through Sunday out there at camp. Now we got to kick you out of there by 12 noon, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Right. But they have facilities available for organizations to come out and utilize to accomplish some or all of their goals.
Very quickly, we got a lot more to cover.
Yeah.
If a person is interested in, touring or viewing the camp, then they can just call a number and then they can get the information on it?
They sure can. They can call our office at area code 478-743-9386. They can either ask for me or ask for one of our admin staff, and we will set up an opportunity to visit with you out there so you can tour the facility and see what we have to offer. And we just brought another property online on Lake St. Clair, 38-acre property that's going to build out to end up being our aquatics base. We know one of the opportunities we have, especially in the African American community, is our youth understanding how to swim. That is a significant problem. It is a life skill opportunity. And we want to utilize that facility and even the facility that we have in Byron to promote another life skill, because that is something that we think our kids know how to swim because they're at some of our local centers, but they're doing more splashing and swimming. But how many adults do you know of that really know how to swim, that have carried a life skill from childhood to adulthood?
Not many.
Not many. But it's a very important life skill.
Okay, well, I got two other things we want to try to cover, and I hope we have the time.
Yes, sir.
We want to talk about volunteerism, volunteer opportunity, and we always want to talk about, those folk who, maybe they don't want to volunteer, they tired, but I hope they're not too tired to reach in the back pocket.
Well,
their fingers ain't tired.
Well, we have 3 T's in this program of scouting: time, talent, or treasure. So if you want to give all 3, we have something that you could do. If you want to
write a check.
But if you want to give your treasure, there's that opportunity as well.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Alex Habersham, publisher of the new Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages and Resource Guide. The 2019-2020 edition is available in print and online. So you don't want to miss the opportunity to view this book. You can see it online at www.maconblackpages.com. And if you want a hard copy, call us at the office, 478-464-0074. The new Black Pages featuring young entrepreneurs and professionals. Get
www.makingblackpages.com.
We're back. I'm having a very, very meaningful discussion with Mr. Garrett Williams, Central Georgia Boy Scout Council. And if you see this show, we'll have it on YouTube and we'll have it on makencalltoaction.com. But I think it behooves all of us to expose everybody that we possibly can to this information, because, you know, what's beautiful about it is that this is an entity or an initiative that's probably got an opening for everybody. As a matter of fact, Mr. Gary just mentioned the fact that there are 3 T's that you can be involved: time, talent, or treasure. Talk a little bit about that and how, because we want to talk about volunteerism. Mm-hmm. And then if they write you a check, that's a form of volunteerism.
That is a form of volunteerism. It's a big form of volunteerism. There's no organization out there that could sustain itself without that support. And the thing about our program, the thing about scouting, you know, we have what we call the Scout Law that begins with trustworthy and ends with reverent. And so it's important that we're trusted with the resources that this community is providing. We have an executive board that ensures that those resources are being utilized for the greater good of our community. And obviously, we always want more people to give of their time and their talent. There are so many young people out there that can benefit from the experiences that adults have to offer, and they just need that compass, that guide to kind of show them how to navigate life sometimes. And so that time and talent is essential, but the treasure is essential as well to make sure that we are a sustaining organization long term, to ensure that those families that need our assistance, that wouldn't be involved in the program without our assistance, are able to be scholarshiped and receive those opportunities. We have a major event coming up on May 9th. It's our Council Friends of Scouting Dinner at the Anderson Conference Center. That's May 9th, beginning at 6:30. That's our gathering with the entertainment starting at 7 o'clock, and we would love to get more traction from the community to show up and to join us there. We have a dynamic keynote speaker by the name of Terry Fossum, and I think that the community would truly enjoy his message, but also enjoy seeing the young people that we're charged to serve.
Yeah, I was at one last year.
Yeah, you were at one last year.
It was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Very phenomenal. Well, if there's a let's talk a little bit about reestablishing Boy Scout troops in churches. You know, I want you to take a couple of minutes to encourage that, and to, you know, just kind of walk Deacon Smith.
Okay.
You know, through what it really takes to get a troop established in a church.
Well, we have a great opportunity coming up on May 1st. Called our Together We Organize event. It's going to be held at the Hutchinson Career Center. We're inviting all churches and community organizations to come out and hear about the scouting program. That program will kick off at 11:30, and they can come out and get this message. But if you're truly interested in organizing a program at your congregation or facility,
right,
make contact with us, okay? You express that interest. We're going to help you with identifying the most important piece of this, which is the leadership piece. With leaders, we can then go and recruit the young people based on the age group that you would like to serve. And we serve young people ages 5 all the way up through 20. And we can help you shape a program and shape a plan to work and fulfill the mission of your organization. And so you leave that to us and helping you with that. And we will also bring in the necessary resources to help get you trained and show you how to run a meaningful organization, and one that will be successful and one that can be sustaining as well.
What if there's a parent out there who has a child who wants him or her to be in scouting. The parent may not be, in a position to start a troop, but he or she recognizes the importance of the role that scouting can play in making that boy or girl a responsible citizen. What should that approach be?
That approach is quite simple. You contact our office at 743-9386. Kind of give us some information of what you're looking for. Let us know what school your child will attend, the neighborhood that they're in. We probably have an organization that's not too far from you, and we will give you a list of potential partners that your child could, organization that your child could join. And if that piece doesn't fit what you need, we have others. So we will work with you to ensure that we find you the right fit for your child.
Do that invite again for those that May 1st and those May 9th activities.
Okay, May 1st is our Together We Organize event. We're inviting all churches and community organizations in the Macon community to come out to the Hutchinson Career Center on 1780 Anthony Road. The program will kick off at 11:30, and we want you to just come out and hear about the program and how this program can support your organizational goals. The second event is our 2019 Friends of Scouting Dinner. Is scheduled on May 9th at the Anderson Conference Center. It will kick off at 6:30 p.m. You'll have the opportunity to do one of those 1Ts, which is your treasure. And that those resources is an event where you can make a pledge and we can invoice you at another time, but we'll be more than happy for you to come out, hear about the program, see the program in action as well, and hopefully you'll be convicted enough to want to support and give to the Central Georgia Council of Boy Scouts of America.
That is phenomenal, and we're going to have the oath running across the screen. And I want everybody to read it. Matter of fact, we probably ought to read it once a week and try to become dedicated to it, because if we all did that, this would be a better community. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Mr. Garrett Williams of the Central Georgia Boy Scout Council. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Have a great day.
You too.